Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today on December 1st. I know I say this every month, but where did November go? I haven't looked at my income all month, even though I was kind of nervous and stressed out because I was like, oh my God, all my stats have been so low. There's no way I've got a good outcome here. But you know what? I waited because no matter what, I love writing on Medium. I love making money on Medium. And even if I just earned $2, I'll be happy with that. Well, no, if I got $2, I'd probably be a little upset. But anybody else have any thoughts on what they made this month? Anybody happy, unhappy? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know while I'm getting set up over here. Can everyone hear and see me okay? Just while I'm getting everything set up, I want to make sure that the big reveal is coming through loud and clear. Hopefully everyone can hear me and I'm not just talking to myself. I'm just going to assume it's all right while I carry on. So stats were pretty low this month compared to previous months. I mean, if we go back, yeah, gosh, big drop, like a quarter fewer views. But I've heard that's pretty consistent across the board. So I'm not going to take it too personally and I'm just going to carry on. All right. I know what you all are here for. You're not interested in the stats. All right. I think if I make, anything over $2,000 is still a really good amount for me. So I'll be happy with anything that's over 2,000. Let's see. Over 3,000. Okay. I am actually really happy with that. Over 3,000 is a lot of money for me. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm so thrilled. Whew. It's not my best month in a while. So let's see, back in October, that was my best month like ever. That was $4,200. September was a really good month for me, $3,700. And then May was my third best month. Okay, so my fourth best month on Medium is not bad at all. $3,100. You know what? I will take that and be very, very grateful. What I like to do in these sessions, first of all, if you've got any comments, any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll go through these in a second. But I like to see which stories made me the most money. I find it interesting, and I hope it's interesting for you too. Have a quick look. Let's see. Okay, so this one, I actually got paid a flat fee from OneZero, the publication it's in. They paid me $300. This was such a fun story to write. I noticed it. I wrote it up. It took me maybe, I think I started writing the story at like 12. And by 2, I'd emailed Megan at OneZero and she was like, yeah, sure, we'll pay you $300 for this. And I was like, what? That's amazing. So I was really happy with that. And yeah, it's earned some money on top of that, which is great. This is a listicle. I'm glad to see it's still earning so much. It earned nearly $300 this month, even though I published it back in August. I'm hearing some people saying that I'm fuzzy. Let me see, maybe I'm back in. Let me know if I'm back in focus. This story was actually an absolute triumph for me, and I'm going to tell you why. When I first wrote it, I was so disappointed because it didn't do very well when I first published it. Like it got 300 views and then it started going down really fast. And I was like, oh man, that's super disappointing. And then on the 14th, I was like, you know what? I'll just change the title. I'll make it something more, I don't know, something more obvious. And that's when I changed it. I don't even remember what it was at first. I think like how to become emotionally attractive in 8 steps or something like that. Not what anybody cares about. But then it did really well. And then it did really well again in October and November, which is great. And it's earned me over $500. Yeah, this is another, it's interesting. Most of these did not do very well in November. So November, I didn't really have anything take off. I think my most popular story in November was like, let's see, 10,000 views. Yeah, my most popular story in November only has 10,000 views. That's considered quite, I'm unhappy with that. I like to get something really, really to take off at least once a month. But I'm not sure what's going on with my screen. Apparently a few people are saying it's out of focus. I don't know if I'm probably scrolling too fast or if like the screen itself is low quality. So I'm just gonna stop sharing real quick and come back here. To me, it looks like I'm in high focus. Maybe not. Let's try again on the screen share. I think I must have just been scrolling too quickly. I'll scroll more slowly. It's something I'm definitely guilty of. Yeah, I don't know how to get it to go into higher resolution. I don't know what's happening here. Yeah, it says it's in high definition. Super annoying. Okay, I'll just scroll slowly and talk more, which is the winner. Oh, was that my alarm? No, sorry. For anybody who just joined, the big number was $3,100. So I was very happy with that. Okay, so I think I've done enough talking. I'll go ahead and answer some questions. I'm going to scroll through. I'll go onto my page in case anybody joins and just wants to know how much I made before they bounce off. What a month. So pleased with that. Especially because I didn't think I'd break 3,000. Okay, questions. A couple people saying that they're happy with what they made. Ewan made his first $1. Amazing job. I remember that feeling. My first $3 was the first month I wrote on Medium, and I was just over the moon with that. Let's see, what else? Violet made 600 on your 4th month. That's amazing. Yeah, for me, this happens to me a lot. Like one story will normally be the big moneymaker for me. This month is quite unusual in that I have quite a few that made up the bulk. Randy's saying, yeah, the issue with curation is it's only the first step. Once you get curated, you then have to start focusing on the title, the introduction, and the conclusion. I found are the most important things here. But curation is the first step, and if you're already getting that, then you're in a good place. Masked Financial Hero, I remember you from the last chat because you've got a very distinctive image. 1.3K is really good. It took me a long time to crack 1K, so congratulations. Manic says, can you write on any topic on Medium? Please tell me. Yes, you can. Medium is a really great place to write anything, not just like travel or photography or food, but literally anything you care about. Some stories make more money than others. Some topics make more money than others, but it's a really good place to write about literally anything you can. Nobody can stop you. Well, you can't like do hate speech, but other than that, you're good. How much have I worked in hours this month in Medium? This is actually a question that I can answer for the first time ever. This month I started using something called Clockify, and I'm not going to share my screen with you just because, where's my dashboard? Because, how do I look at last month? There we go. It has the name of some of my clients on here, but which are confidential. I can tell you that I spent 11 hours and 32 minutes this month writing on Medium, which accounted for 18% of my time. And let's do some math. What is that? 11 hours and 32. Let's find out. So 3,100 divided by 11 hours, 281 an hour. Not too bad. 281 an hour for my time on Medium. That's great. That's a fun question. I only just now started tracking my time, like how I was divvying it up between all the different projects. And I'm going to write an article about that soon, so keep your eyes peeled. Any tips for getting into Mind Cafe? The best tip I can give you is to make sure anything you write is super, super, super research backed. Right now, they're only looking for stuff that has like real citations. Anything that you can cite that's an actual scientific study will give you a huge leg up. The other thing I can say is that they are trying very actively to steer away from clickbait. A lot of the publications on Medium are doing this right now because I think they're getting pressure from Medium itself, which is fine. It does make our job as writers a little harder because clickbait is how I get paid. But we're all just trying to work with the new system and figure out what's going to work for all of us. So yeah, less clickbait and more science. That would be my tips. How many stories did I publish this month? This is something I can show you. If you don't have this Chrome extension, I really recommend it. It's called Medium Enhanced Stats. It's free, anybody can use it. And it shows you exactly how many stories you published. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 stories this month. So quite a few. I originally only had 12 scheduled, but you know, sometimes you just get the urge to write and nothing's gonna stop you. So 18 stories this month. Oh, it scrolled down too quickly. All right. How often do I get articles published on OneZero? Not as often as I'd like. They're a really, really prestigious pub on Medium. They've taken, I think, 3 of my stories in the past. Actually, that is something we can have a quick look at. OneZeroMedium.com. Let's see. I think it's 3. I'm pretty sure it's 3. If we just search in here for Zulie, Rain, 1, 2, 3, I lied, 4 stories with OneZero. For the first 3 stories, they paid me a flat fee of $200. For this latest one, they paid me a flat fee of $300. Don't know why. I don't negotiate with them. They're just like, we'll pay you. And I'm like, great, thank you. How seasonal is Medium? Are there months which are known to be quiet or busy? I know it sounds silly, but 2 years of experience does not give me the evidence I need to answer this question. I think November was pretty low comparatively last year. And I think December was surprisingly busy. Both Decembers I've worked on Medium. The problem is I have kind of off and on seasons on Medium. And so even though one December I might make more money than the last December, I don't know if that's because I wrote less or more because Medium was on or off or whatever. I think comprehensively, like everyone that I know had a bad month this month in terms of views. I'm very, very, very happy to have made $3,000 this month. Like I really thought it was going to be a bad one for me. Sorry, I thought my cat might be coming in, but she was shy in the end. So yeah, I don't know the answer to that, unfortunately. Does OneZero always pay a flat fee? To the best of my knowledge, yes. Like I said earlier, I don't negotiate. They just tell me and I'm like, I'm very grateful for that. Does income drop over the festive season? Not that I've experienced. I'm trying to think more specific examples. The first December I wrote on Medium, there was a huge jump up in views and income from November. But then it took a huge tumble again in January. What a roller coaster, right? So I don't know for sure. You know what? This is actually a really good question, and I see a lot of people are curious about it. So I will have to ask a couple other people and get back to you on that, maybe in like an article or a YouTube video later. What is my secret writing sauce? My writing secret sauce? I don't know. I drink a lot of tea and I read a lot of pop psychology articles. I think those are the 2 keys to my success. Salman says he made $1,100 in your 3rd month. That is amazing. Congratulations. That's I think my 3rd month I made $600. So you've got me beat. That's incredible. Really, really well done. Is changing the title after curation usually an okay move to make? Depends a lot. So I recently got called out on PS I Love You. I published with them and then I changed the title after the fact. And the editor was like, hey, please don't do that because we have to make sure that what we publish complies with Medium standards or else we get knocked for that. So it depends on the publication and it depends how big a change. I think if you write something non-clickbaity, it gets curated and then you change it to clickbait, Medium's going to be like, don't do that. So as long as it's minor, I think it's okay. What was my best story this month? Oh, that's right. Sorry, I was on the stats and then I moved away. Oh, not the stats. I want to go to the Medium Partner Program. Let's have a look at November. Yeah, so this story that I wrote for OneZero was the best for me. But if you remove that, like if I just published this without the flat fee, it would have only earned $87. So my 7 traits of subtly toxic friends was my big earner this month. Hey, $2 Manic is a good, oops, flung my scrunchie. It's a good place to start. You have to start somewhere when you're writing on Medium. And I mean, like, I'm just trying to think back to my experiences with WordPress or with other examples. The first $3 I made on Medium were some of the most valued and cherished dollars I've made ever, because it was the first time I made money writing. And hopefully everyone else who writes on Medium also feels as happy with the money that they do make. I still think Medium is the best place to be writing on the internet. Salman, just in case you didn't see it, somebody wanted to know where you were from and how you manage Stripe. So y'all can sort that out in the comment section. Devansh wants to know how long it can take to reach 1,000 per month. This question has so many variables that I don't even know how to start answering. I know some people who made well over $1,000 their very, very, very first month on Medium. Most people need at least a couple of months to figure out the lay of the land. It took me 5 months. The 5th month I was on Medium was my first $1,000 month. So hard to say. Depends on a lot of other factors. Any tips to get views to our stories after some days of publishing? Because this is my first month on Medium and my views curve is inclined downside for every story. This is unfortunately more or less the reality of the matter. So I'll show you. I think this is a good example. Yeah, so this story I published back in August, and it's still earning me money today. Like, it was I think my second most popular story this month. So if we look at the stats, you'll see, well, we'll see a 404 page. There we go. Let's look at that first month. So August. Had a big spike and then started going down. And the same thing in September. Spike, down, down, down. I mean, most of these, I don't know if you can see, but I was earning like pennies, right? Like, oh, well, actually, that's quite a lot of money. I was getting very few views, 50 views a day, maybe at most. But then we look at October, huge spike out of nowhere. The best things you can do to make this kind of thing happen is to make sure that you're curated. Curated stories have a much higher chance of, sorry, my cat has just jumped up on the bed. Curated stories have a much better chance of having a longer lifespan like this and getting big spikes like these. I mean, look at this, 4,000 views, like out of nowhere, right? That kind of thing is what every writer, I think, dreams of. Curation is the best thing you can do for this. Other than that, sharing it on Twitter, just some of the things I do. I don't find social media to be a huge benefit, but every little bit helps. Back to my payment stats while I look for my other questions. But that 11 hours doesn't include time. Oh, so in case you're just joining this live screen, somebody asked me how many hours I spent on Medium this month, and it was 11 hours and 32 minutes to earn $3,100. So the way I measured that 11 hours, I started the clock as soon as I sat down and went to medium.com, and I stopped it when I finished that article, like I submitted it or whatever. So I mean, I did do other writing for other clients, so I guess that time was not included in that, but anytime I was on medium.com, including researching for articles, that was included in my 11 and a half hours. Okay. Once again, I've scrolled too far. Okay, here we go. Advice for a non-native English speaker. This is a tough one for me because I'm a native English speaker. I would say the best things I can say would be to get Grammarly. It's the free extension on Chrome. Get it installed. It will catch a lot of the more obvious typos. And read your stories aloud, even if you're not a native English speaker. I think that will still help with some of the flow. And third, and I guess this is more long-term, read as much as you can. I think that's the case for any writer. The more you read, whether English is your native language or not, the better a writer you'll be. Submitted the Mind Cafe on November 9th, but no reply. Should I submit this article to another publication? Yes, Mind Cafe, I think if it's been a week and you haven't heard anything, I would make it less clickbaity maybe. I don't know what article this is, but you can try to resubmit after making it less clickbaity, adding more research, or you can just try another place. 18 stories in 11 hours. Yes, I am a very fast writer most times. If you've ever joined my Write With Me lives, you'll see I can normally crank them out pretty quickly. How many articles do I plan to publish on a monthly basis? I aim for 12. Sometimes it's more. How fast does Medium take to pay out? I will get this, I think, on like the 5th or 6th of December. So less than a week, you should get your money. Do you know at which pace you're gaining subscribers on a monthly basis? Has it been accelerating for you? I used to, but I turned off the emails from Medium. I think I used to average around 500 a month. I honestly don't know if that's the case now. The reason I don't care is because I find that follower number doesn't directly correlate to earnings. It's more about if one or more stories go viral. That helps with more followers, but it's not a guarantee. So I'm not that fussed about it. Just getting started, but you published 2 articles and earned $300. Lillian, that is incredible with 2 articles. You must be really thrilled for yourself. It's just that feeling of earning money after writing something that you love and care about. That feeling never goes away, and I love it. Do I think there is a correlation between YouTube growth and Medium growth? Hard to say. I do have the odd article. So I cross-post my articles and my videos. For most videos I make, I write an article for them, and I post the video in the article, and I post the article in the video. So I think it probably helps a little bit, but I don't think it's like most of the stories that earned me money this month, they had nothing to do with YouTube. So I think there might be some crossover, but not huge yet. Hopefully one day. Do I reply to comments on my articles? No, I am super thin-skinned, and I found that reading, I know it sounds silly, but I get offended and I get hurt really easily. And I found that a lot of the comments I was getting, some of them were kind of nasty, and it was affecting my ability to write. So if I post like a Medium-based article, normally I will read and answer the comments on those because sometimes people have questions that I can help with. But anything opinionated or listically, I personally don't read or reply. How would you propose to a new writer to create a routine for starting to write and publish every day while studying to better their writing? I think I'm a big believer in focusing on time rather than number of articles. So while I aim for 3 articles a week, I find that that number can sometimes put an unnecessary amount of pressure on me. So normally what I try to do is I just aim to write for 10 minutes a day. Normally that 10 minutes turns into like half an hour or longer because this is my job now. But sometimes I only write for 10 minutes and that's okay. But just by starting to incorporate that 10 minutes every day into a habit, that was one of the things that made it easier for me to turn it into part of my routine. Any ways, sources, or even courses to better one's writing? Honestly, I don't know. I found personally that the best way I got better at writing was by reading and writing more. If anybody else has any sources or courses to improve writing, please drop them in the comments for Sassy and Awesome. Stop chasing big pubs. Yeah, lessons from histories. I think it's a really good pub. I think it's better to focus on good fit rather than number of followers that a pub has. Sorry, just scrolling through. Minimum word count for article? No, just write as much or as little as you want. The ones for me that tend to do best are between 900 and 1200 words, but you can publish a 2-word story if you really want. Why does Medium have a 30% international tax rate? Unfortunately, I am not a tax lawyer, so I do not know the answer to this question. I assume it's just so that they can have international writers as much as they can. I honestly don't know why they tax like that. Unfortunately, I am an American citizen, fortunately / unfortunately. So this is not a particular hurdle that I personally have had to deal with. Zaky says, publications are cracking down on clickbait, about time too. Yes, so recently, this past month, I personally have been noticing a lot more pushback from pubs on my titles. I do walk a fine line between clickbait and click promises. I don't know what to call it. But right now they're heavily influencing people to do more towards click promise and less towards clickbait. I actually, my big earner that I published this month, is it this one? Yeah, so I published this halfway through November. the editor was thinking about changing this because Medium themselves, anything listically clickbaity, they're like leaning away from it now. But then he was like, well, I'm just gonna, because I'd added the research to this, I cited actual scientific studies. He thought this was okay. But they are really cracking down on it. And I think it's true. I think this will help good writing come to the surface rather than just a good title. And honestly, I'm a terrible title writer and an okay writer. So I hope this will play out in the favor of good writers. How much did the article make that I wrote on Live? I've written a couple articles on Live. I don't remember which ones, to be honest. I think I wrote this one on Live. So this one was $45 so far. My About page made me money this month. That's fun. Which other ones? I actually don't remember which ones I've written on Live. You'll have to forgive me. They typically don't earn very much because I write them live, so they're not as high quality as some of my other stories. But it's fun. How many stories did I publish via pubs this month? Almost every single one, I think, went through a publication. We can go through my stats and see. I have found that, especially as I learn which publications are best suited for my stories, that's the best chance I have at going viral. So Better Marketing, Mind Cafe, PS. Yeah. This one I didn't put in a publication, and it wasn't curated. By this one, sorry, I'm talking about this. The D'Amelia's getting canceled on TikTok. And I think that is that and this one. This is the 7 most tiresome categories of post-election tweet. Those were the only ones that I didn't put in pubs this month. Lillian backing me up here, saying that she used a lot more time on titles for the 2 stories we published this month, and they make a difference. Yes, it took me a year and a half, 18 months, to realize that if I publish stories titled like about freelancing, nobody clicks. Even if you think you have trust between yourself and your audience, spending 10 or 15 minutes on the title will literally, I am not exaggerating, make or break your story. I cannot emphasize that enough. Thank you, Lillian, for backing me up there. Is it okay to put affiliate links at the bottom of articles? Yes, Medium allows affiliate links as long as you disclose that they are affiliate links. So totally free to do that. What is my process for finding research to back up my articles? So the proper way to do this would be to do my research and then write the article. But usually what I do is I write the article, and then every time I have a fact, I either back it up with personal experience. So I can say, I did this, I experienced this, or I'll Google it. So I'll be like, mirroring body language psychology. I'll Google it like that. And then I'll try to find an actual source backing me up. So this is okay, but I normally try to go a step further than just a blog post. I want like an actual scientific study that will back me up. Where do I find the inspiration for topics to write about? Half of it is knowing what's done well in the past. So to be totally honest, a lot of my inspiration for stories is I'll go to my stories and I'll see which ones have done well. So it's trying really hard. And the ones that have done well, I look at the topics. So listicle, freelancing, current event, listicle, psychological trick. And I turned that into an editorial calendar. So about 50% of my stories, I write them about things like this that have done well in the past. The other 50%, I write for fun, things that are interesting for me to write or that I enjoy doing. They typically don't do very well, but I have to have fun writing or else what's the point, right? How's my email list helping me get more views? So every time I send an email, I include a link saying, in case you missed it, and then I have a bunch of stories that I published recently. As my email list grows, I get more clicks on those stories. Not a lot, but every click that you send to Medium, if they're a Medium member and they read your story, that's some money. And the more people that actually read your story, the more that tells Medium that what you've written is good, engaging, valuable, and the more they'll be likely to recommend it to other people. So that's how I use my email list. I know some other people are, sorry, let me get rid of this. Some other people are less frequent, like they'll only send out one email a week with one story. Some people do it every day, every time they publish. That's just how I do it. Let's see. Do I recommend new authors to publish this month in December? Yes, why not? I'm actually intrigued why you would doubt that. I think you should start writing any month. Why not? It's fun. Harish says he's published 13 stories and earned $8. Fantastic job. Every article has been curated in one topic. That's awesome. Anything you need to do to improve? If you're getting curated, that's the first step. I would then focus on, I feel bad saying this, but your title. If you're getting curated and you're not getting views, it normally comes down to the title. And then if your title's okay, your introduction. When things go viral, it's because people are reading them, getting to the bottom, and really maybe engaging with it further by commenting, sharing, something like that. So yeah, if you're getting curated but not getting views, that would be where I would look first. Sorry, I'm just going to get this up in case anybody new joins. Okay. So, all right. I've been on here for 31 minutes. If anybody else has any questions, feel free to post them in the chat. I'll stay up for another minute or two, and then I will go get a second cup of tea before I hop off. I can hear my cat snoring. She's really sweet. She loves to keep me company. Wow, $3,000. It's a bit of a, I feel silly saying this, but it is a bit of a letdown after the fantastic month I had in October. I wrote very little that month, and to earn that much was just good. I've been thinking maybe I should write less, like maybe writing too much is somehow negatively impacting my ability to earn more on those, or like the ability for those stories to get viral. Okay, last couple of questions. Rahul says 1 out of 10 articles got curated. Is that too bad? No, 1 out of 10 is good. Hopefully you can improve from that. Have a look at that particular one, what it was curated in, and have a look at the ones that weren't curated. You don't need to be curated to earn money, but it helps a lot. Described, could you please post the question below? I'm getting too many questions. I'm losing them in the chat. Larry says, thanks for the videos. I'm gonna start writing on Medium. Amazing. I know I say this and I know it sounds cheesy, but I really think if anybody who had something to say and was passionate about it started writing, the world would be a better place. And I think Medium is a really great place to do that. Does following and unfollowing for getting followers create bad impression on Medium? No, to be honest, because most people I know don't notice their followers. I think it's not going to help you a huge amount. You're welcome to try, but I did this my first month and I didn't get any great results. So that would be where I am. What kind of tea do I drink? I tend to go for like the herbal fruity kind of stuff. I think right now I'm drinking like berry zinger or something. But I also drink Yorkshire tea. My husband lives in the UK and he sent me over a box for an early Thanksgiving present. So that's what I like to drink in the morning. Thank you for posting that again. It seems like your relationship with pubs helps you get in there more. How do we start the journey? Do you post it yourself while waiting for a response? So my relationship with pubs does help me get in there more because I already have an established dialogue. It is helpful. I did this organically. I just kept writing and kept publishing and kept replying to comments as I submitted. That eventually, just through sheer repetition, I did form a relationship with these pub editors. I think if you want to be more proactive about it, I would reach out on LinkedIn, Twitter, to start a dialogue that way. But come from it, not from the perspective of what they can do for you, but what you can do for them. Can you give them really good quality stories? What can you offer them? Do I post it myself while waiting for a response? Normally, no. I have a pretty typical routine. I'll submit a story to one publication. I normally hear back in 48 hours or not whether they'll take it or not. If not, I'll submit it to my second choice. And if they reject it as well, I'll normally just publish it as is. Do I respond to stories? I find it annoying that my responses and stats are shown on my page. Yeah, I also find it annoying, which is why part of the reason I don't reply is because Medium makes it actually really hard to respond. I didn't know actually that the stats were shown here. I think you have to go here for your responses. I didn't realize it was part of the stories, but yeah. So no, personally, I do not. Now that you've made $1,000, what's my advice on how you can be consistent and how to keep this going? My advice is to get ready for a downturn. You might not experience it, but the first time I made $1,000, I really thought this was my personal journey. I was like, amazing, I've made it. It's only up from here. And then, I didn't keep growing. And that was really disappointing for me. And it made me feel like it was hopeless, not hopeless, but that I felt like I'd been promised a linear upwards journey and that I wasn't getting it. I had bad months after my first $1,000 month. I had months that I only made $400 after that. And when you're writing and you feel like you've cracked it and suddenly things start going badly, it's disappointing. It is. So I would say my best advice to be consistent is to focus on why you started, which hopefully, I mean, we're all here to make money, and there's no shame in that. But if you're on here writing on Medium, I would love to think that most people are doing it because they love writing. That's why we're here. And that got me through my bad months. I was like, all right, making money is great, but I'm here because I love writing, and I really think Medium is the best place for me to be doing that. So consistency of writing versus writing when one feels like it. Which do I think the algorithm likes? I feel like the right answer is to say consistency, but my personal experience is the months that I've written infrequently, inconsistently, and only when I felt like it, those have been some of my best months. So in October, I want to show you this. In October, I was on holiday for a good chunk of that, so I wrote a lot less than I was going to. And I had some pretty amazing stories. That was the first month I made over $4,000. And the same thing for May and June. So May, another one, that was the first month. This was my first ever viral story. And that only happened because I stopped cranking out content and I wrote something that I cared about. So I feel like the right answer is consistency, but my personal experience has been writing when you feel like it, and that consistency actually doesn't matter that much. Well, what am I planning for 2021? I'm going to start scaling up. So I just put some new stuff on my website. I want to start focusing on my website more, especially as Medium has been, up and down these past few months. I want to make sure that I have not exit routes, but other sources of income. So I'm going to be focusing on my website more. I'm also going to be trying to invest more time and energy into YouTube. I've been doing more live things like this, and this is so fun, and I want to keep doing that. And I'm thinking about maybe doing some kind of benefit member program on YouTube, like the people who really want to support me and want to get extra stuff, maybe trying to set something like that up. And yeah, just keep writing, keep doing this whole journey. I love what I'm doing. And I guess the main thing is just to keep doing it because I feel very fortunate to be doing what I am. Zach makes a great point. Passionate writers stay consistent. Can you make money through comments too, since they are perceived as stories on the platform? You know what? That's a great question. Let's find out. All right, details. Okay, so maybe you can, because this says you did not choose to make the store eligible to earn. So maybe if you can figure out how to make them eligible to earn, then you can earn money for responses. Not sure. I agree with what you're saying, though. I think because Medium classifies them as stories, they should be able to earn money anyway. What's my website? Yes, my website is zuliewrites.com. I will post it in the chat in case anybody wants to visit it. I'll start self-promoting somehow, right? Oh, I hate self-promotion. Okay, right. I will go back to my stats page or my money page, and I will see you all. I think I'm gonna head out and get some lunch. I've got a call at 1, but I'm gonna go get some lunch, and I'll do this again at the start of January, so you can all see how much I've earned in December. I do Write With Me lives every Sunday. I just basically do this, but I write a story so you can all see my process and ask any questions. And as always, if you have any questions, any comments, any ideas, any thoughts, let me know in the chat. I love, love, love answering questions. It gives me inspiration for my videos and my stories. And I always want to feel like I'm giving back to the community that has given me so much without, again, wanting to sound too terribly corny. So yeah, if you were here, thank you so much for joining me. I love doing this. This is so fun for me. And I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their day today, Tuesday. Have a great rest of your week. All right. Bye, everyone.